They never fail.
They're just like everywhere. There are some good souls and some bad ones.
Yes.
Some of our greatest people have come from there. Jeanette came from that area.
Not Broward. It's a little different.
Oh, so
Coconut
to
Creek.
us, it's the same.
Coconut Creek.
She's like, oh, no, no.
It was Broward. It wasn't.
Present day.
To us,
Miami
it's kind of the same thing.
First.
Okay.
That didn't come up.
Okay, that's what it was about. So,
No, my parents moved down there, so I grew up down there, went to school down there. Yeah, I moved out by the time I was moving this way, yeah.
she said, enough of this crap.
Yeah, and there was plenty of crowd there too.
Yes, it was.
It's gotten even worse. I mean, driving down there is nerve-wracking.
Oh, God.
And I'm used to driving in New Orleans, and I have no trouble, but Miami's a whole different world.
I just turned on the news, it was the third worst traffic in the country.
I believe it. And I haven't been down there for a good 5 years. If I go, I'm gonna take Bright Line next time. I'm gonna take the train and relax.
Good idea. I knew it wasn't a place for, we're gonna be built that today. You make a lot of money there. Yeah. You gotta be too sharp. That I gotta get hold of that.
I agree.
Since we've lived here, about 10 years ago, we somehow
stay on top of the
figured out that one of my younger brother's best friends
And relax and air
is living in this area. So
Not driving.
over a little bit of time, we did some research in Connecticut. And after, I said, how did you get here? That's good stuff. He said, because my brother lost touch with him once he joined service. But he joined service and he, on the GI Bill, he went to get,
Okay, everybody ready?
How you doing?
and he ended up in Miami. So that's where he met
You ready?
his wife. His wife was from Miami. I said, well, how'd you get from Miami? He said, because we hated it here. We wanted to raise.
Good morning. This is the Citrus County Planning and Development Commission hearing for August the 7th, 2025. If you'd like to join us at this time, we invite you to please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Lord, please give us the grace to be understanding, patient, and tolerant. With these attributes, we can conduct our work in a manner which will be pleasing to Thee, our county, and its residents. In the Lord's name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
My voice went away. All right, thank you. If you like, for the courtesy of the applicants and the board and those around you, if you can please place your cellular devices on mute or silence. And may we get the roll call, please?
Good morning. The following Planning and Development Commission members are present. Chair Richard Barmez, Robert Shera, Second Vice Chair, Stuart Bozeman, Jeanette Collins, Michael Facemeyer, Kurt Stone, and School Board Representative Chuck Dixon.
Thank you. If any person decides to appeal any decisions made by the commission with respect to any matter considered at this hearing, he or she will need a record of the proceedings, and for such purpose, he or she may need to ensure that the verbatim record of the proceedings is made, which records should include the testimony and the evidence upon which the appeal is to be based on. During the public input portions of the meeting, individuals are given 3 minutes, and representatives of an organization is given 5 minutes. When anyone wishing to speak comes to the podium, please complete the yellow form to hand to the recording secretary. And please print your name, your address, and the number of the application for which you are speaking on the form. The yellow forms can be found at the podium by the door that you entered in. If representing an organization, a letter of authorization must accompany the speaker. And the comments will be limited to the topics being heard. So please state your name, spell your last name, and give your address for the tape record. Now, at this time, I'm going to open the podium up. This is an opportunity for you to come forward to address the commission on any issues that you may wish, but this is not for any application that we're going to hear today. So anything other than the applications today, the podium's open. Anyone? All right, seeing none, I'm going to close the public portion of the meeting down, and we have no minutes to approve. Do we have any staff announcements?
Mr. Landon, do you have anything you want to talk to him about? Unfortunately, we have 6 members today. We do our best not to have that, but we had a last-minute cancellation. That's the way it is. We do have alternates when we have time to notify them. My apologies for that.
No problem, thank you. We get the ex parte communications from Madam Attorney.
Yes, Mr. Chair, with regard to the applications you're about to consider, have you had any ex parte communications you need to disclose for the record? And we'll start at the end with Mr. Dixon.
No, ma'am.
Site visits?
Site visits.
No, ma'am.
None.
None?
Thank you.
All right, great, thank you. Now it's time for application AA 2025-00003 for our RF Construction Builders. If the applicants are present, if you can make your way to the podium while we get the introduction, please.
Thank you.
Okay, good morning.
All right, we're gonna get the introductions from her first.
You're fine.
You're fine, you can stay there.
I'm sorry for the delay.
You're good.
Richard Fernandez, doing business as RF Construction and Builders. This application is to request to change the parcel's designation from multifamily to duplex on the Citrus Springs Unit 20 master plan. This is an aerial view of the subject property. This is a view of the subject property. This is looking north on North Vesta Point towards West G. Martinelli Boulevard. This is looking south on North Vesta Point towards the end of the cul-de-sac. This is looking across North Vesta Point from the subject property. And this is the site plan submitted by the applicant. Thank you.
Thank you, good morning, sir.
Good morning, everybody.
Please state your name and continue on.
Yes, my name is Richard Fernandez. I'm the owner of the lot, and my plan is to build a house, a duplex, but I got an issue with the lot, because the zoning is for multifamily, and I can, keep working in my property just for that reason. So I'm looking for a duplex. So basically, that's the reason. And the other issue I got is probably when we did the application, everything is going under my company name, but I got a contract to do that, and so everything is confused. My company is not gonna be build the duplex, because I don't have the license for that. So I have to do under builder or GC. So I don't know what's confused in the application. RF Construction is under my name, but I have to find another company to do it. Or I don't know if I can do by, under my name. Just contract different subcontracts with license, but I can, work.
Does that conclude your, do you have anything else to add or any?
No, that's basically, that's all I have.
All right, does the staff have any questions for the applicant?
Yes, sir. Just for clarification, this is for a duplex unit, correct?
Yes, I have the drawings, I got everything set up for duplex, because that's when I bought the lot, I brought for duplex, but it looks like it's a multifamily. So multifamily, it's 3 or more homes.
All right. And have you looked at the suggested conditions that are in the staff report?
No.
Okay.
There really aren't any other than you can do it. So,
Oh, well, yeah, basically.
yeah. Okay, you're good.
So, all right. No further
All
questions?
right, does the board have any questions for the applicant? All right, looks like no questions for you. Thank you. If we can get the staff to come and make their presentation, please.
Okay, thanks.
you, Jen.
Just point.
You could. You could go up and do that.
No.
Do the Vanna White up there.
I was gonna date myself on that, but you did, all right.
Good morning. Jen Perkins, Senior Planner. The applicant is requesting to redesignate a multifamily lot to a duplex lot on the Citrus Springs Unit 20 Master Plan. This is an aerial view of the subject property, and the parcel totals approximately 0.28 acres. The bluish purple lots are designated multifamily. The pinkish purple lots are designated duplex, and the bright pink parcels are designated office. Because Citrus Springs has both multifamily lots and duplex lots, only one duplex can be placed on a duplex lot, and only one duplex cannot be placed on a multifamily lot. So the subject of this application is Lot 10, and the applicant, again, is requesting to change that from multifamily to duplex so that he can develop a duplex on that site. The lots that are adjacent to the north and the south, lots 1 and 9, while they are designated multifamily, they have both recently been approved through permits to place one duplex on each lot. Those duplexes are currently under construction. This is the duplex under construction to the north, the one under construction to the south. This slide and the next slide illustrate elevations that were submitted by the applicant for the duplex, the floor plan for the duplex, and the site plan that was submitted. So this portion of Citrus Springs Unit 20 is a mixture of both multifamily and duplex designated lots. The subject property also abuts duplex lots to the rear, and a duplex sited on this lot would be compatible with the surrounding area. Also, the site plan indicates that the parcel could accommodate the duplex as proposed, whereas multifamily use could be difficult to place there based on the small size of the parcel, which is 0.28 acres. Thank you.
If I could add, that was a great presentation, Jen. You're going to see a lot more of these. Citrus Springs was platted in the early 70s. Multifamily was a great idea then. It's still a great idea, but these lots are tiny, tiny, tiny. So fitting 3 units here with stormwater and with well and septic or water sewer, depending on the size, is really, really hard. So you're going to see more of these. Obviously, she says it fits with the area.
All right, thank you. Does the applicant have any questions for staff? If you do, come to the podium and ask, please, so we can get it on recording.
Okay, yeah, like she's.
Come to the podium, Mr. Fernandez. Thank you.
Okay, like she say, it's right. I got 2 duplex building right now next to my lot. Both are almost done, and they got approved for duplex. It was multifamily, so that's what I require. Let me do my duplex, and you know, different the multifamily, because it's no space. We don't have space to do multifamily in that lot.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions for staff?
Mr. Chairman,
Boy. Let's start with Commissioner Facemeyer.
Jen, a couple quick questions. To help me understand, the lots 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, how are they zoned? Are they duplexes?
Correct.
And number 1 and 9 are duplexes under construction?
Correct, on a multifamily designated lot.
And there was some oversight that those 2 properties were issued building permits in error?
Correct.
Okay. Can you, just one more thing, can you clarify the difference in my mind, to help me in my mind, the difference between a duplex, I understand that too, but what would be a multifamily lot, building, what would that look like on that lot?
Anything 3 units or greater.
And those lots are about how many square feet or, I mean, they're pretty small lots, right?
Right. I don't know the square footage, just 0.28
Okay,
acres.
it's not important, but
Okay.
it would be crowded, probably. Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Shara.
Good morning, Jennifer.
Hi.
Quick question on the plot plan that's included in the package. It shows that there's a 6-foot, it appears that there's 6 feet between the corner of the building and the property line, and that is tagged 6-foot drainage and utility easement. Does that 6 feet meet the appropriate side setback?
You know, I did not look to see if there was a greater side setback, but this site plan is for illustrative purposes only. You are not approving this site plan. It's a straight Atlas amendment to change that designation.
Fair enough. The
Yes.
permitting process will ensure that we have the proper setback then.
Yeah, in
Absolutely.
Citrus Springs, it defaults to those easements. It's usually 5 feet, but in Citrus Springs, it's 6 feet because of those easements.
Great, thank you.
You're good.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Commissioner Bozeman.
It would seem that, just looking at the picture's not there any longer, the lot, yes, there. The pink ones you said are the duplex or the multifamily lots?
The pinkish purple, so that are to the east of the multifamily?
Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Correct.
And those are typically smaller lots than the duplex designated lots? Seems kind of backwards to me. If you're looking at density, three units
Right.
per lot.
This is just a small snapshot of the Unit 20, so that's going to vary across the master plan as far as acreages.
Okay. I just want to get clarification. So what we're attempting to do is, or what the gentleman's attempting to do is to put a duplex on effectively a larger lot than what I see is typical for multifamily lots. Is that somewhat accurate?
Joanna, can you help me
Yeah, I
out
think
with that?
the ones to the right in the pink are duplex lots already. So they're actually mostly smaller than these on the main road that you're seeing, which
Okay.
are multifamily. So that multifamily is tough with this size. It's very hard, done in the 70s.
They probably didn't have the same requirements we have today.
Right,
back
they
in the
would.
70s.
Likely.
Right, we would not look at stormwater, we wouldn't look at, that's a big chunk right there of land.
But other than that, there's no issues with ISR or with density in the current zoning or codes?
No, I did take a look. Again, the site plan isn't a part of this to be approved, but yes, I did look at it. And if it's, permitted as proposed, there is sufficient room
Okay,
for
that's it.
setbacks and ISR, et cetera.
Okay, that's all I had.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Collins.
I have one question. So, looking at the aerial that was provided in the PowerPoint, it looks like the lots across the street, which would be multifamily, 3 or more units, it appears that they're all vacant right now. Are you aware that there's any actual multifamily developed proximate to this lot?
From my site visit, right across Vesta Point, I did not see anything.
Okay.
Are those office on your plan, though?
Let's go, nope, forward.
Oh, we're going the other road, I'm sorry, I'm on a different road, I'm on a bigger road.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions from the board? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, the public portion of the meeting will be open. If there's anyone present who would like to speak on this application, please come forward to the podium. As a reminder, individuals will have 3 minutes and organizations will have 5 minutes. When speaking on this application, please address the board. And if you have any documentation that you'd want to enter into the record, please provide a copy to the recording secretary. Anyone want to speak on this one? Thank you, sir. come to the podium and please state your name and your address for the state record, please.
Okay, my name is Mike Kosick, Kossick. My address is 11098 North Blackfoot Point, Dunellen, Florida.
Thank you. It's all yours.
Okay, yeah. I live on North Blackfoot Point, so on your photograph there, I'm in that base of lot that is right now showing that base. I am building a house there, but then it is complete now, okay? So I see the two duplexes that are already being built there now, okay? The concern I have is there room in the back for enough septic system to make it work, okay? Because I see with the house on 101, there is a problem with the septic there now because of the grades, you can't make it work right now. So there's a potential that I see there. And my question is also, is there a minimum amount of basic green space that is supposed to be left on these lots, okay? So basically, you're looking at this duplex unit is basically gonna take up nearly everything in the front. You got concrete driveways, so all you got is a little bit of grass in the back, which is gonna be the septic tank. So I have concern with all these lots being zoned moldy and even making these duplexes. Is there really enough sufficient room, okay, to make these things work, okay? I'm from Ohio, I'm from Pennsylvania. I was on my township zoning planning commission, and we dealt with this type of stuff up there. So I'm just bringing up this concern here. I think they're too small. There was no water line, but there is a water line that is being supplied now. Before that, it basically would have been well. So basically, for sure, with the well and trying to put septic in 100 feet apart, these lots are not set up for multifamily or that duplexes, okay, in my opinion. That they should all be basically playing single-family homes versus moldy. I don't think the idea was to have this thing all jam-packed with all these little duplexes and multifamily houses when there's all this land around. Why is everything being concentrated to make this like the little city here, where that you're going to have all these driveways and all these cars and all these families in this little area right here? To me, that doesn't make sense. That should be considered to basically look at maybe rezoning this area. Since 1970. It was a different plan. I think it should be considered. That's what I got.
All right, well, thank you. Next speaker.
Sir, may I have your yellow sheet?
Okay, yeah. Which way? Right there. There you go.
Anyone else like to speak on this application? All right, saying that, Mr. Fernandez, do you have a rebuttal on the public input? Do you have anything you would like to say about the public input only?
Okay, well, if you see all those lots next to my unit lot, they have the same dimensions probably, but if they have to stay off the road, so they got less square footage for make bigger units. That's the reason they make duplex. So I'm assuming I can do my duplex in the middle of those units. The other units and across the street got the same problem. Those units are for multifamily, but they don't have a space for make multifamily homes. So they probably have the same problem, or they will have the same problem. All the street are for multifamily, but we can make a multifamily in the street.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
All right, this time I'm going to close the public portion of the hearing, and I'm going to bring the discussion back to the board.
Can I
No, you had your 3 minutes, sir, but thank you. Commissioner Facemeyer, is that your hand moving down there?
No,
Oh.
I mean,
You want to start?
I plan to support this application. If we did not, this one lot would be different than the rest of them in that general area, and I don't see how we would force someone to build a multifamily unit dwelling on that property. So I plan to support this.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Shara.
I'm going to support this as well, and it's consistent with the comprehensive plan and the LDC, and is compatible given the properties that are surrounded in the zoning. But I think the speaker brought up a valid point that these, and I think staff brought this up as well, is these lots are physically small. 1971 vintage. And the key point that the speaker was bringing up, one of the key points was, is there physically space for a fully functional septic system on this lot? And when you look at the dimensions, I would say it's going to be challenged, but that is not our function here today. Our function here today is to address the compatibility and consistency of the LDC. So I'll support, but it will be something that staff needs to look at closely before a permit could be issued. So I will support.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Shara. Anyone else?
Yeah, I would also be supportive of this. The duplex would certainly seem to be more compatible, and as far as and this will be for the permitting department and the building division to determine adequacy of space for septic and drain fields. I'm assuming each unit, whether it's a multifamily or a duplex, would have its own individual septic system, or is there a shared system? I don't know. It's probably not the time to ask that question, but just, for a point of record, I'm sure our building department would clarify that. So, but I would support this.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Collins?
Mr. Chair, thank you. Yeah, I am supporting this. This is actually requesting a decrease in density, and it's more in keeping with the neighborhood. I know the site plan does show septics on there, and you're right, you'll have to meet the standards of the state regardless of this application. Separately, I know you had mentioned about your contractor's license. That's not something that this board would consider in this. We're strictly looking at the zoning. You'll need to resolve that through the building department as well. So, but otherwise, to the rezoning, I have no objection.
Mr. Chair, for the purpose of a motion,
For a purpose of a motion, Commissioner Shara.
the Planning and Development Commission finds application number AA-2025-00003 consistent with the Citrus County Comprehensive Plan and Citrus County Land Development Code, and the board recommends approval with conditions of the application to the Board of County Commissioners based upon the evidence and testimony presented and the staff report and conclusions regarding this petition.
We have a first by Commissioner Shara,
Second.
a second by Commissioner Bozeman. Any further discussions on this? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Mr. Chair, this has been set for the County Commission on September 9th at 5:05 PM.
Thank you. All right, now it's time for CPA/AA/PUD-2025-00006 for Terrell LaCree with Whitestone Landings. We get the applicant to come forward as we get the staff introduction, please.
Thank you. This application is a request to amend the future land use map and the land development code atlas map, and to modify an existing planned unit development for hotel use. This is an aerial view of the subject property. This view is from the west side of the property. This is a view from the east side of the property. This is the site plan submitted by the applicant. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. My name's Terry Legree. My address is 3793 West Crystal Downs Path, Lecanto, Florida. I'm here today to speak to my project, Whitestone Landings. I've been here a couple of times before. I hope this is my last. Through the evolution of this project, the premise has remained the same, to create and develop a boutique pocket community that has great architecture and lush landscaping, a project that contributes to the surrounding neighborhood and is a need and asset for our county. On my last application, I submitted a video that gives you the feeling of what that community looks like. I'm requesting, if you will, to allow me to show that, and staff to do that, please. It's about 1 minute and 50 seconds long.
Madam Attorney, is that part of the, our package? Because I didn't see no.
I don't know.
Is this in a packet, a printout of this video, or? It's a video, so it's not part of your package.
Correct.
Can't provide
It
that
was,
to you
this
ahead
is
of
the
time.
same procedure as last time,
As last time.
as the last
Previous
presentation.
application, Totally different.
So it's entirely up to me.
Did we
That's what
allow
you're
it?
saying.
Does anybody remember if we allowed it last time?
Yes, ma'am.
I think we did.
We did for a site, same site, different application.
Any of the board would not want to see the video?
I would prefer to.
I agree.
All right, sir, we will see your video.
Okay. Is that something the staff has? I believe they're going to show it.
Yes, sir. Give me one moment.
She's working on it.
Can we see if Kat would like to come help me with this, please? It's not as easy as it was last time, guys. May be able to pull it through this screen. Okay.
It is a beautiful piece of art, anyway. Yeah, here we go.
I'm just gonna turn the volume on, hang on. Right now we got captions.
Whitestone Landings is a newly planned pocket neighborhood community located in Crystal River, Florida. Citrus County is in the heart of Florida's nature coast on the Gulf of Mexico, where the pristine waterways and springs are home to the manatees, great boating and fishing, and abundant, beautiful open space. The community is located on the east side of Crystal River and is within a few minutes' drive of shopping facilities and access to the newly constructed Suncoast Parkway. The vision for Whitestone Landings is to create a well-planned community that benefits neighbors and friends with socialization and recreational amenities for all to enjoy, including our four-legged companions. Outdoor cooking and gathering spaces are provided, along with quiet seating areas that are beautifully landscaped, fire pits for enjoying a glass of wine with your friends, and a sports court for pickleball and other yard games. Bike trails that extend for hundreds of miles are located just across the street. The community will display beautiful contemporary Florida coastal design architectural features that reflect the image and heritage of Citrus County. The landscape will consist of holly trees, palms, azaleas, camellias, and other flowering plants that fit perfectly within our greater community theme. The 8-plex flats are laid out with private entries to each unit. The 1 and 2 bedroom units are spacious and open, with high ceilings and tasteful finishes, providing ample light and views of the beautifully landscaped surrounding grounds. Welcome home. Community, neighbors, and friends await.
Thank you. appreciate you allowing that to happen. And the purpose for that was for my last application. The site plan has changed just a little bit. I've eliminated one building, so we've gone from 56 to 48 units. I'm requesting a GNC PUD on my application so that it can be operated as an extended stay and vacation rental community. The community is located just north of Meadowcrest off of Highway 486. There are 6 8-plex buildings, or approximately 800 to 825 square feet each, with beautifully furnished living rooms, bedrooms, baths, and full kitchens. The Florida coastal architectural theme will be an inviting place to reside and vacation. The pet-friendly community will include a swimming pool, as you can see in the southwest corner, and fire pits, gathering areas for socialization for people in the evenings and during their stay. The interior of the units have 10-foot ceilings, 8-foot doors, vinyl floors, and will be nicely, beautifully furnished. The community will be built by a professional management company and builders. I've been working with Vantum Construction, which I'll speak to in a minute, Vantum Modular, and I've got a builder out of Orlando actually that's going to build this project, and we've been working closely together for the last year or so. There's a demand for this type of facility as I've gone through the tourist information and the need for more residential type product, rental type product, especially extended stay. For Crystal River, the Tampa General Hospital, we're trying to get in contact with them because they're going to be bringing in new residents for doctors as well as nurses and people that might have a need for a place for 2 to 3 months or longer until they get settled into their permanent home. It's also a place for families to stay during a high-demand tourist season. The site plan is in front of you here with the 6 buildings and a pool, and the goal was to stagger the buildings, have adequate parking, and to make it a really welcoming and engaging community to become a part of. The architecture for the buildings will be dark metal roofs, hardy board siding. There'll be Bahama shutters on the windows. They will be put on piers, so the building's actually elevated a couple of feet. So we have a nice Florida coastal design. There's a still rendering that I placed in the site as well, which you'll see in a moment. The project will be built by modular housing. The buildings are green certified, built to wind codes, strong emphasis on sustainability, affordability, and resilience. The units are factory built, transported to the site. They're telling me that within 2 days the boxes will be set. The contractor will then fly the roof trusses within the few days after that, and the project will be built in a period of about 8 months once it gets started. There's trim work to do on the projects and the buildings. Once they are set, there's tie-ins to do, the roof tie-ins, the soffit fascia, et cetera. So within 6 weeks from the day of delivery, I'll have a finished product ready to go. Tree preservation is obviously becoming a critical issue in our county, which I certainly respect and understand. I have been involved with multiple projects in the county over my 45 years of living here, and I've planted thousands of oak trees, and others are among them. So I very much believe in our green space and then vegetation, because I believe lush landscaping makes any project worthwhile. It makes it more inviting, and one of the points I'd like to make that's kind of, if I will, is I think we really as a board, as a community, need to take a harder look at what a good landscape plan does for a community and for individual homes. So that'll be a high emphasis here. There are 14 specimen trees located on the site. The site is heavily vegetated, as you saw in the video. The understory consists of invasive bamboo and saplings. It's hard even to navigate your way through the site at this point when my surveyor was out there, they did a great job of cutting some trails, and I was able to get back in and see a few of the things that are there. There are 3 laurel oaks that are in bad health. There are 5 additional laurel oaks that have reached 24 to 30 inches, and they're on their last life cycle. They will be removed. 2 specimen live oaks will be saved. 3 will be removed. 1 black cherry will be saved, and 1 will be removed. And that's delineated on a landscape plan that I provided for the with the application. A final tree preservation plan will be prepared through the civil engineering design as we get this into CAD and get it into a good working drawing and submit it at the time of permit for approval and review to the staff. The landscaping of the project. That's the next slide, I believe. Beautiful landscaping and architecture is paramount to the success of this project. The palette of material will consist of live oaks, holly trees, palms, azaleas, camellias, muhly grass, spartina, everything offering a bit of seasonal color. One of the things I really want to emphasize, I've got a couple of the neighbors here that are adjacent property owners, and we've talked and want to work closely together. I want to beautify North Miller Run Terrace with landscaping on the other side. There's a lower income rental project right across the street to the west, and I've dealt with Lisa McKnight, who's the management individual for that community. She's always been in support of what I've been doing, and look forward to beautifying that entire corner and making it a real asset for our county. Buffers. Buffers are intended, as we know, to provide beauty and separation between zoning categories. They also enrich in the visual spatial environment of a community as well. Eagleson hollies is what I've chosen for my buffers, and I've got some pictures of those in a moment I'll show you. It's one of my favorite trees to use it as a buffer type product because it grows very upright. It grows from the ground up, and it grows to about 15 or 20 feet. And the slide to the right is kind of a continuous hedge that's probably about three or 4 years old. It's probably at this point about 12 feet high. But that's the kind of buffer that I'm proposing on both the east, which is the power line corridor. I'm also requesting whatever you call a variance, if you will. The staff had recommended a 15-foot buffer on the southern end. I'm asking if I would prefer to do this and keep a continuous look through the community. This these will be maintained at about a 15 to 18 to 20 foot height. There will be specifications written on how they're to be maintained. And they're good for wildlife and attract birds. And they are hardy and adaptable to drought and are resistant to many of the common holly diseases. So that's the buffer I would like to see happen. I think it'll really enhance both my neighbors as well as the community itself. So one of the things I'm requesting is a variance to go from a 15 to a 10-foot buffer on the south property line. If you would take that into consideration, it'd be most appreciated. Benefits of the extended stay vacation rental. Been to do a lot of tourist meetings and seeing the impact of what our county is seeing here with people visiting and enjoying the beautiful assets that this county provide. The GNC PUD zoning is required for this type of business to meet local codes and state statutes. The architectural landscape theme will greatly enhance the neighborhood. Citrus County commercial businesses are beginning to grow. Industry's coming. There's a need for this type of extended stay facility, i.e. Tampa General, with staffing people coming in. It's about 4 miles from that project, so there's a need for this. The property will be managed by a professional management company that will provide night security, background checks on guests, and will offer 5-star quality services and maintenance to the community assets. The owner of Icon Collections is here today and will speak to their management style and how they provide their service. The community will be taxed as a commercial business, and the revenue from the tourist tax greatly support the steady planned growth of our community. So that impact will be significant. With all things go according to my plan, we hope to be open sometime by the fall of '26. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, does staff have any questions for the applicant?
Yes, sir. If you could, Mr. Legree, if you could expand a little bit on the extended stay aspect of this. And so, is there any kind of expected or anticipated time frame for that extended stay?
I think, I don't know if I can speak to that or not, but yeah, I haven't done any details on that, but I think it's going to be something that will be, I can't give you an exact number to answer your question, but I believe it's a real need for this community. To have some place where they can go in and have a furnished unit, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, fully furnished, full kitchen, and they can just, all they have to do is unpack their bag and move their family in.
All right, and so these are not considered permanent residents?
They are not.
Okay. And
they will be under 6 months, primarily, yes.
And have you had a chance to look at the conditions in the staff report?
I have.
Okay. Any questions, concerns with those?
The only one was the buffer issue.
Okay. Thank you. No more questions.
Does the board have any questions for the applicant?
Yes. Mr. Chair.
Sorry.
Commissioner Shara.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, a couple quick questions. Predating me on this commission, you had a previous application that had been approved by the Board of County Commissioners early in 2024. What is the need, or what are you attempting to do here that was not approved in 2024 by the Board of County Commissioners?
It was an apartment complex that would have been sold to individuals that could rent their units if they so decided to do so under the condominium laws of the state of Florida, which was the direction I was heading in. So to sell the product to an individual, they would then place that into a management company and could rent it for a period of time depending on the condominium documents. The business model, economic business model for that is very limited from a standpoint of profitability and how that will succeed. As I began to look more into the tourism and what was really needed in this county, we really needed more vacation rental that. There's nothing like this in Citrus County that I know of. I mean, there's Airbnbs where I know the tourist development department is looking to start trying to secure tourist tax from those people eventually. This is to run this properly and under state law, state statutes, and your codes, this needs to be zoned commercial. So that's the only reason I'm here. The architecture hasn't changed other than the fact that we've lost one building in density, so I've got to have lesser density now. And we're providing a convenience to our guests that are coming from Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville to enjoy our amenities, and hopefully new residents that will come to work for us, professional as well as working for us, and have a nice place to stay for a short period of time until they get their home built or until they settle into something more permanent.
Great, thank you. And of course, our commission, at least as I'm interpreting this, is we're looking for compatibility and applicability to the LDC and comprehensive plan. It's interesting to hear the background of the business plan, however. Follow-up question, there's a private road as you go back into the proposed facility. And I did not see it is a private road. I didn't see anything in your application that addresses what you would do with that road other than the size, the dimension of the roads inside your complex. What are your plans for the private road to access the complex?
My plan is to actually mill the asphalt and repave it. And I've talked to the neighbors about that. They can't afford it next door because it's a low-end rental. It's a subsidized community. So we're looking to really improve the streetscape of North Miller Run Terrace. My goal is to improve the road looks because it's all about our business plan working from a perspective of rents and that type of thing. So we want to make it very inviting. So my goal is to, and we have budgeted to strip the asphalt and repave.
So you won't own the road, but you will initially improve it. Who will maintain it? Will you actually purchase this private road?
No.
Okay, so there's a question that relates to the long-term maintenance of this.
Yeah,
you know,
well,
of
that's a
this
county
road.
issue. There's a lot of private roads, right, in this county. I mean, we as a homeowner wish to maintain that road in very good condition. As long as that development is there, that road would be, we'd want to keep that road in very nice condition, sir.
I'm going to defer the responsibility of the county back to staff when we get to the staff report.
Sure.
But that is a flag. That road needs to be maintained, and we would have to determine who the ownership would be. Another question is on the, you don't have any access to a major arterial. You don't have access to Norval Bryant directly, and you have some three high-density residential lots that are between you and the arterial. What is your thought related to that and the compatibility with those that potentially could be other family homes?
I've met with one of the owners who owns the two lots to the southwest corner, or half of that 4-lot period. And we're in discussions about what she might be able to do with her property to help her value, and would also be an asset to our community. And we're both on the same page. She will get up and speak to that in a moment. The gentleman the group that owns the other two lots on the corner, which is PSO and High Density, he has a billboard, an electronic billboard that's 30, 40 feet long and 30 feet high. It's 25 feet high. Have not contacted him.
Okay.
Well, however, the man across the street that owned about 2.7 acres, he and I have had conversations about beautification of the whole community area. So I'm just trying to raise the bar for everybody and to be a good neighbor.
And just one last thing, and I'll stand aside. In terms of ownership, you had mentioned that you would be, I want to make sure I get this straight, you would be the owner, but the property itself would be managed by a professional management company under contract. Is that correct?
The property could be sold to any owner. It'll be under Whitestone Landings, who will be the owner of this product. They will be managed by a professional management company and agreements, and so that's how that would work.
But it would be sold as a single entity, not as individual
Single
buildings?
entity, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Shara. Commissioner Bozeman.
Are there any, and you may not know the answer with the gentleman you referred to earlier, are there any minimum stay requirements, week, 2 weeks, or is it just open-ended?
I think we need to leave it as open-ended as possible, but I think most of the times, and we'll let Rod speak to that, but 2 to 3 nights is what we'd like to see happen, obviously. So.
That's all I had right now.
And we have boat parking, trailer parking included with this as well, so.
Okay.
Commissioner Stone.
This may be a question for your management group, but do you envision an on-site residential manager for this property?
That would be an answer that he would come up with, yes.
All right.
I don't have that answer.
Okay. Is he going to speak here?
Everything, yes, he will. Yes.
Okay.
At what point is he going to speak, sir? Because I would like for him, if he's going to speak, he should be speaking before we start asking questions. So when we start asking questions from staff, we
Sure.
could have everything in front of us. So
I think they're prepared to
if you're
speak.
willing, if he's going to speak, I would prefer him to speak now before we continue any other questions, so we don't have to backpedal.
Good morning. My name is Roddy Myers. I am the owner of Icon Collection, ikoncollection.com if you want to Google us. We are a management firm. We specialize in high-end luxury management, complete with concierge services, which are anything from private flights, fishing charters, salon appointments, so on, grocery delivery. I've been working with Terry for quite some time on this project. I'm exceedingly excited about it. Having lived in Citrus County, there's a strong need for this, and the aesthetics of this property are fantastic. And our company is looking to cookie cut this to other places because this is a superb example of improvements in the short-term vacation rental management company. What differs us is all of us that work for Icon come from the business as well as not only like short-term rental businesses, but a strong tech background and strong finance background. We're all committed to improving the short-term rental vacation market because it's kind of the Wild West out there. Particularly in Citrus County, you have a problem with unregistered short-term rentals that you do not collect tourist tax on, and they're not registered with DBPR either. Our company, we do everything legit. We're registered, we're licensed. We vet our vendors that work for us. They become partners with us. All of our staff is vetted as well. Any of our clients that would stay in our units that we manage are background checked, credit checked. We use noise aware guest ranger. That lets us tell how many people are in the unit at any given time, how many people sign in on the internet. So we know, the last thing you want is a unit rented for a family of 4 and suddenly you have 15 or 20 people in their party. So we have all kinds of procedures to stop that kind of stuff. We are a generational stay management company. We encourage mom and dad to bring the kids, the grandparents come along, the kids grow up, have great grandkids, the families revisit over and over for events like manatee season, fishing experiences, charters, tournaments, just experiencing downtown Crystal River, the Nature Coast, golf at Black Diamond, and other places. So I'm really excited about the project. It's going to be a huge contribution to this community. So I will answer any of your questions. It seemed like you had a few, so just start tossing questions at me.
I got one question. What does a week?
Speak in the microphone, please.
What does a week rent for in an extended stay place like this?
So typically, my company's invested very heavily in software. So we monitor algorithms. We use RevMax to pace with the market. We consistently pace ahead of our competitors in any market we're in because of our deployment of technology. It depends on the season. Florida has unique seasons because we have a summer season which is comprised of families, school, summer vacation back before school starts. Our winter seasons typically start late February and run through the typical spring break experience. Then more locals sort of come out to fill in those time periods. So it's a evolving seasons. It's not just limited to beaches, especially someplace like up here because of the tournaments, boating opportunities, manatees, the forest where people can walk on the trails, explore some caves, those kind of things. So we do luxury products. So working with Terry, we will furnish the interiors, all the furnishings, linens, dishes, all the things people need. It's all commercial grade luxury stuff. So this is a luxury package stay. It can be low season, off season. The lowest would probably be pushing $300 a night. Peak season could be anywhere from, 2 bedrooms. So if you've got 4 people, like, 2 adults and some kids, or 2 adults and maybe in-laws or whatever, they could go anywhere from $800 to $1,200 a night, depending on what's going on in the area. So we also have tiers in my company. So we do short-term rentals as well as midterm, long-term, and annual. For instance, we have a condominium on the beach in Destin. It's rented now for 2 years. We have other units where it's a traveling doctor, traveling nurses. We get a lot of that, and military personnel in Tampa. Those can rent anywhere from a month while they're looking for permanent housing for their families to 6 months. Sometimes we have a month stay. We use a variety of products. We have Instant Book where somebody can book instantly. They have to go through our vetting. Those stays can be typically anywhere from 2 days to 3 days. Our average stay ends up being somewhere between 3 to 8 days for the most part. Our profile of our clients, they're upwardly mobile, younger professionals with families, or they're established retired couples looking to, that live in Florida or the Carolinas or Georgia. They're looking to experience the nature coast or some of the beaches or some of the city life. We have luxury homes that sleep up to 18. We have studio units that sleep a couple or one person, and everything in between. We are in family neighborhoods. We're also in on the beachfronts. We're in dense urban areas as well. And I will say our family neighborhood units typically rent to traveling professionals or military professionals. And we vet them, but they're usually well behaved. And we are a superhost status on all the OTAs, which are your booking platforms like Airbnb, Vrbo, directbooking.com, so on and so forth. Superhost status means we have 5-star reviews, we don't have a lot of complaints, and I can attest to you, we don't put up with problems. So that's why we deployed Noise Aware and Guest Ranger to vet people and to monitor the homes. Security, we hire a private security service that's an affiliate of ours. We have an in-house employee who comes from a security background who oversees that. He also oversees the logistics of the day-to-day operations in terms of the mechanics. We have a specialist who oversees all the housekeeping. All of our housekeepers are vetted. Our sheets, linens, everything are done professionally off-site in a professional laundry to meet state standards to prevent bed bugs, stains, hair on the sheets, those kinds of things.
Does it have a gate?
It does not, right? A gate? No. We will have security, though, from 8 in the evening till 8 a.m. It'll be a roaming security that goes around the property. Terry has committed a space for us not only to have some supplies, but also to have a security office. So, and that's principally because during charter season or fishing tournaments, there's some expensive boats, as you well know, that are parked, and so we have to make sure those are secure. It also cuts down on any local kids coming through trying to jump in the pool or do anything people shouldn't be doing. We have, so there are many things that go on in the industry that the average person may not know, but we have a zero tolerance for drug use and other things that sometimes go on in units, and that's why we vet our clients so carefully. And like I said, they tend to be families or older retirees.
All right, Commissioner Bozeman.
So you really don't have a minimum stay requirement, but your algorithm can give you an average of 6 to 8 days, is that correct?
Yeah, and with our instant book, which could be, a night, we carefully evaluate those and make sure that that's the kind of stay we want. But like I said, our typical stay is anywhere from like 3 to 8.
So as a follow-up, interesting concept, how new is this, and how do you have other projects, similar composition, makeup, layout to this in other areas? I don't recall ever seeing one in Citrus County specifically.
No, to my knowledge, there isn't one in Citrus County, and this is kind of a one of a kind for us. We have other condominium units in buildings in Tampa, and we have some cluster houses and cabin projects that we do. This is a more elevated in terms of a total experience. This has pools, fire pits, boat parking, trailer for the trailers and things.
And you're going to have, I see a buffer on the rendering on the back side and this side here. Is there any perimeter fencing as well, or is it just going to be the holly buffer?
Just the buffers, correct. Yeah.
Okay. That's all.
We typically don't have security issues, but principally because of the guests, the profile guest here many of them will have boats. So that's a concern, so that's why we implemented security staffing.
All right, Commissioner Stone.
Mr. Myers, I'll repeat my question that I had for Mr. Legree. Will you have on-site management? You said that you'll have in the evenings on-site security, of course, but during the day, would there be a manager present?
We have employees that go from project to project. Roger oversees all of that movement. Our housekeeping staff will be there on a daily basis. He oversees that. There will be a housekeeping supervisor. They will be there every 7 days a week. There'll be somebody on site. So if there is an issue that arises, Roger's alerted. We're pretty fluid. We manage a lot of properties virtually. We have several out of state. We've done a really good job with technology. We use Operetto, which is on all of our phones. Email's dead, and so is like the post office kind of mail, so everything is push messaging now. So we live in real time, as does our staff and our guests and our owners. So everybody has a portal. They can see what's going on. We can instant message if there's any kind of problems, if we have a pool leak or any kind of situation that occurs. It's addressed in real time, just like we're talking now.
Mr. Chair?
Commissioner Shara.
What I hope are two quick questions. One is, you identified the typical stay. Is there a definition of a maximum stay?
We're open, like for the condo I just spoke about, we had a 9-month stay. They asked could they stay for 2 years after they were there for a month and loved it. They're getting ready to retire. They were testing the waters, and so we said sure. We've had working professionals that come in for 6 months contracts. Military reloads that come in from overseas, we've had them stay 8 months to a year. We're very flexible with our guests. We try and accommodate guest needs within the parameters that respect the community. So we wouldn't put a spring break group in a family neighborhood. We're very sensitive to where we have our units and tailor those units for that type of a crowd.
Okay. I appreciate the answer. I'm only just because of time.
Yep.
You mentioned that you're aware that you're adjacent to a residential community.
Yep.
And you're aware that buffering on your or adjacent to you on the south side are residential, high density residential. So what do you look at in terms of max occupancy? And you address the fact it's a hotel, motel, general commercial. So you've got people who theoretically could be living to the front of you and are living to the west of you. So what do you do in terms of those folks who do come in? You just addressed it, party, spring break, and others that are fitting into a community.
So Icon Collection is unique in that we do not allow parties of any kind in any of our units. You can come and you can have your family there. You can rent a unit, a group of fishing buddies or whatever. No, 8 o'clock is like you can be outside, having fun. 8 o'clock, everything has to stop. You can still sit outside, but you have to be respectfully quiet. We use Noise Aware, which tells us decibels, so we can see at any given moment what's going on in a unit with noise. They get a phone call. They're told to knock it off. If they don't knock it off, somebody shows up. We have an employee who's licensed to remove people. So we're unique in that way. We do not have trouble in our units because they know the rules. Hefty deposits and huge fines. If you break that and we have to come remove you, it's a $2,000 fine. And we capture credit cards and we charge it and we don't give it back no matter how much they complain.
Thanks.
All right, any other questions from Mr. Myers? Before we can. All right, Ronnie, you can step back up. We got questions for you, sir.
Mr. Chair, I had a question for Mr. Legree.
Commissioner Collins.
Mr. Legree, you testified that there was a thought process there where you might want to later on sell this to HOA, and in your letter, in your backup submitted, which we have, dated June 24th, 2025 to Frankie, our staff, you also questioned in there about the ability to later on sell these as individual units as a condo if the market changes. Is that something that you are still contemplating that?
It was a question.
Okay.
Okay, the world changes. I have to come back from what I understood from staff to you and to the commission in order for that to happen.
Yes, that's kind of where I was going, otherwise I was going to ask staff too, because, yeah.
But
So
no,
this,
there's some.
because there is a note also on the master site plan about, let's see if I can go back and find it. So I don't know if that's something that needs to be clarified, but in your note 4, this will load. It mentions about this being extended stay vacation rental, but it talks about with the option to later convert to a possible condominium. So I don't know whether that needs to be corrected. I just want to make sure that that was clarified, that the GNC allows for this use, but unfortunately it would not allow for the density as a
Correct,
condo.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what staff indicated, and I agree with that. Yeah.
Okay. That's really my question. Thank you.
All right. Anyone
Mr.
else?
Chairman, there is one lady here that owns the property in front. Would you like to speak to her now, or when people are in favor, or what?
She can speak at public input.
Okay, very good.
My question is, I have a couple. In your packet, you say you're going to build this in phases from 1 to 3 years. Is that still your testimony?
The economic model is set up to build it in 8 months. I used that in my last 2 applications, not knowing, trying to give myself a certain amount of flexibility if something changes halfway through the project. Economically, that's all, but the goal is to get it built, have all the 6 buildings set within a period of about 4 months, and to get this finished in 8 months and ready for rent.
And then brings up a curious question. Why are you asking for a 2-year extension on the PUD?
I can do away with it. That's fine. I mean, once the financing's in place and this is a go, it's not going to stop.
All right, also you say you're putting a pool, but your packet says pool or pickleball court. So you're 100% sure we're going with a pool?
It's going to be a swimming pool. And I put pickleball court in, and just in case we wanted to add one somewhere at another location later. But the pool, as we see it, with a small pool building and a socialization area, is what's going to be in the plan.
All right, and then my last question is, you stated earlier that there was a life cycle for Laurel and Scrub Oaks. What would you consider the lifestyle or the life cycle of a Laurel or Scrub Oak?
My knowledge, having been here 45 years and planted laurel oaks by hundreds at Black Diamond, we're starting to lose them now at the entry at Black Diamond. And I've encouraged the POA there to start thinking about replacing those with live oaks in a forward plan. Falling on deaf ears because the POA is not controlled by a management company. Live oaks are doing, and if I knew what I knew 30 years ago, I would have planted live oaks in those medians. But I find them to live about 50 years. We've been trimming them continuously for the last 10 or 15 years because they become brittle and break and winds, and so it's been a maintenance issue in my community. So I've really turned to live oaks as being the tree that needs to be the permanent tree and I've planted 500 live oaks out there as well. So we've got a bunch of those. There's just a few areas that I wish I would have done live oaks. So I love all oak trees. I've got 5 of them in my small yard that I've now lived. Other than the leaves, it's a joy to have them, and the vegetation and the shade is wonderful.
So is your intent then is to completely clear this land and then rebuild with new landscape and new tree preservation?
Candidly, yes, it has to almost be cleared. We're going to be moving each of these building boxes are 72 foot long. They'll be transported in. There'll be a large crane that will set them on the foundation. The trees that I have called out to preserve on my tree preservation plan, which is in your packet, will not interfere with that, so I've made a point. I get very involved with site clearing and site prep. That's what I've done my whole life. I'm a tree lover and a tree hugger as well. It's a critical part of our life. I will be there and try to save everything I can. But at the same time, I don't want to leave a tree there that looks like it's going to die within 5 years and get rid of it.
Are you a landscape architect?
I am, yes.
Yeah, that's what I
Land planner, yes, sir.
All right, then my next question is, for staff, never mind. Any other questions for the applicant? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time.
Now we get the staff to come forward to make the presentation.
I'm sorry, Frankie, give me one moment.
No problem. Good morning. My name's Frankie Pyland. I'm one of the planners here. As you're aware, this is application CPA-AA PUD 2025-00006, which is a request to change the land use and zoning from HDR to GNC with an updated PUD. And just to point out that this is going to be 15.54 units per acre, which totals 48 units on the property with the current plan. When we look at the property here, you'll see that it's set back a little bit from Norval Bryant Road, Norval Bryant Highway. It is set off on a private road, North Miller Run Terrace, and doesn't have direct access to Norval Bryant. Looking at the zoning that's around it, you have HDR to the west side. That's a apartment complex. You have PSO and high-density residential along Norval Bryant, and to the east is a power line corridor. The property itself is a fully wooded site, and these are views along that private drive looking at the wooded site. And this is a view from the back side, which is that power line corridor looking at the back side of the property. We've seen the site plan, and Mr. Legree has gone into detail to truly identify what's going on there. Some points to point out here is that they are asking for a few deviations. One of those deviations is along the southern property line. That's something that is not supported by staff because some of those properties out front are high-density residential. Without any development there, we don't know what's going to go, so we want to make sure that we preserve as much buffer as we can between residential and a commercial use if this is approved. He's also asked for a deviation on the east property line, which is along the power line corridor. Staff doesn't have any issues with that because, again, it's a power line corridor. It's not facing any type of family development. Moving on past that, he's also asking for the termination of the PUD to extend to 5 years instead of 3 years. I'm not sure from listening to the testimony if he's asking to waive that or if he's still sticking with that. But something to point out here is that he did indicate that in the future there may be some question as to whether or not this is something that might go back to a multifamily option, which in its zoning would not be allowed. If it does get moved to GNC, the maximum multifamily density with a PUD is 10 units. So him asking for 15.54 units per acre is going to exceed what's allowed in GNC. So they would have to come back in front of the board to move it to another classification such as HDR, which it's at now. I believe that's all that I've prepared for you. Any questions?
All right. Does the applicant, do you have any questions for staff? All right, does the board have any questions for staff? Commissioner Shara.
Sorry. Morning, Frankie.
Morning.
Hey, there is a letter in here from the Florida South Water Management District that said their ERP permit expires in 2 years. Are you familiar at all with what has to be completed before the expiration of that permit? And what I'm referring to is, do all construction activities, including occupancy, have to be granted before that permit expires?
I don't know anything about that.
Fair enough. Certainly something we'd have to look into with that permit, having a sunset date to it. The next is the private road access. The applicant made a point that that private road was going to become the county's issue. I'd like some clarification on, number one, is that a county road or a private road? My understanding is it's private. And number two, then what become the next steps related to that access road?
In simple terms, it's not the county's, it's a private road. How they maintain it is going to be up to the individuals that use it. The county would not get involved.
He's absolutely correct. It is a private road. I disagree with Mr. Legree. It's not the county's problem. It's a private road. We're not going to maintain it, the county. Proposed condition number 3 is from engineering, and you'll see that they did say they need proof of modification of that swift mud permit. And also, the first one was a concern that you also touched on with this road is accessing 486. There's no median cut there. So without a median cut, there are concerns. We've learned our lesson from several recent applications that people just drive across the median if it's not convenient. And so they're saying they would have to install some blocks so that doesn't happen.
So just as a logical follow-up, if this is a private road, and now you have a relationship between an applicant and the existing, residential community, are there any guidelines, standards, or others that that the county would oversee in terms of maintaining access for safety during the period of construction, the rebuilding of the road, commitments to rebuild the road? Can those be part of a condition, and then maintaining that over the life of the project?
I'm not aware. That might be better directed towards technical services, but I'm not aware of anything we can do to regulate that.
And technical services is not going to get involved for private maintenance. So there's nothing that staff can offer you other than maybe a specific condition, but we don't have anything regulating maintenance of private roadways.
GNC, if we would vote in favor of changing this from multifamily to GNC, I always try to think about unintended consequences. So when we look at the under 2412 general commercial, I'll try to speak in English, general commercial district GNC, the number of uses that are permitted, and as you've already referenced, some are not permitted. Those that are permitted by permit, does that require the owner to come back and come in front of this board and BOCC to operate different types of facilities in the GNC area?
In this scenario, it would. This is a planned unit development, so any modifications to the planned unit development would have to come back in front of the commissions.
I thought that was the answer. I just wanted to be sure. Thank you. Thanks, Frankie.
Thank you, Commissioner Share. Commissioner Bozeman.
The type of construction they're proposing, modular, that is permissible in this particular area?
I believe so. As long as it meets Florida Building Code, I believe it meets all the standards.
And the density and ISR requirements are compatible with what the requirements are for this new zoning?
Correct. It was indicated in the report that ISR and FAR both are under the maximums.
Okay, and then I did read a letter where their intentions are to connect to the central water and sewer system.
I don't have that on the top of my head, but if that's what they're indicating.
Yeah, I mean, there's a letter from Department of Water Resources indicating that is it's available adjacent to the site. It's whether or not that is final intent. I would certainly think so if it's available, but I don't know the answer, and it's not up to me to make that determination. I'm just asking the question.
Yeah, I see in the staff report under concurrency that it is indicated that there is sanitary sewer and portable water available by Citrus County Utility Water District. So it's the best of my understanding, that's their intention.
Okay, that's all I got.
Condition number 2 says central water and sewer.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
proposed
Okay, good.
condition.
All right, Commissioner Collins.
Frankie, in your staff report, you did describe this road as being a local private road. Is there any criteria for this type of proposed use that it needs to be either on a collector or an arterial?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, thanks.
She stole my question. So, think about it, Joanna. Commissioner Facemeyer.
Frankie, does the county, I know this proposal is for an extended stay business model, which is different from Airbnb or Vrbo. Does the county, and I know the municipalities may have some regulations that regulate Airbnb type of rentals. Does the county have any policies or regulations regarding shorter-term rentals?
Well, let me start by just clarifying that the way that we look at this in Chapter 2 and approved uses in GNC, we are considering this a hotel motel. How many days they stay is not really in the purview of this. It's essentially being permitted as a hotel or motel. I'm not aware of the specifics of how long a transient type of living facility can allow people to stay, but I believe there is state statute that regulates that.
Okay.
And if I could jump in just a minute, the statutes are not our friend. They talk about transient as being either less than 30 days or non-transient hotels for more than 30 days, period. Staff does have concerns. We can't do multifamily here because of the zoning. So perhaps considering a condition of, I'm really concerned when he said 2 years, 3 years. These cannot be utilized as permanent residences or occupancy limited to up to 6 months, which is something we use elsewhere in the code for transient. There's not really that definition at this time. So if you want to add something on there, I want to make sure these are not going to be multifamily apartments because of the units proposed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, Frankie, you're not over yet. You got me now.
Outstanding.
Mine's gonna be easy. We talked about the roads. We know it's a private road, but do we know the width of that road? I know you probably didn't go out and measure it. It's not on any of our records. My concern with the width of the road is, his testimony is saying that boat trailers and boats are going to be entering off of Norville Bryant onto a private road into their area. And if I was a resident and these big boats come in, the roads keep getting tore up and they are done, they probably won't fix the roads, as we've seen throughout the county previously. So do you have any take on that?
I'm not aware of the specific width. However, if we go back in the photos, there is a photo that shows trucks with trailers on. I'm trying here.
Stop, maybe.
You got it? There is a photo that shows some trucks and trailers on the road as well as me. Now keep going to the photograph.
It was this area.
One more.
Yeah, one more.
There you go. So it appears to be sufficiently wide enough for two-way traffic. That's kind of the best answer I can give you. But as far as measurements, I don't know. And you can see two different trucks with trailers attached to them there in the road. And again, it looks like there's enough room to maneuver it.
All right, then, in a GNC, do we allow open space to be in DRAs?
I believe the answer to that is yes. I might have to defer to Ms. Joanna, but I believe the answer is correct.
Within the PUD, you can consider it anyway, but yeah, you can allow stormwater areas to be possibly open space as well in your calculations.
All right, thank you for that. And then my last question, 48 units. On paper, he's got 90 parking spaces. 78 10 by 20s, 6 compact spaces 9 foot by 18 foot, and 6 10 by 50 boat spaces. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, we don't consider compact spaces and boat spaces as part of parking spaces, is that?
In this scenario, no, we wouldn't require that as part of the required parking, which I believe is 1.1 per unit for a hotel.
Which is
motel.
89. They would be
So-
required to have 89.
Understood.
So they don't meet the parking.
The staff report says 53 because it's 1.1 spaces per unit and there's 48 units.
I got a bad calculator. I didn't pay
I
tariff
didn't
on
do
it.
that in my head either, don't worry. I'm relying on Frankie's calculation in the staff report. This is page 140 of your packet.
All right, well, with that, I will end it. No other questions? Commissioner Shara,
I had one.
Bozeman, and
I'll defer to my colleague.
Oh. Is there any way we can determine and get clarity on who owns that particular road? Because it seems to be a question that's popping up, and it's looking at long-term maintenance of the road.
I'm not aware. All we know offhand is that it's private. It doesn't look like it's specifically attached to either deeded parcel.
Okay.
Commissioner Stone.
Stewart took the same line. Is it possible to have a private road that no one owns? It's just a road that people have been using traditionally, although it looks like somebody's done something on that road. I mean, if this facility, if this application is going to rely on this road for access, the only access, then it doesn't seem like the status of this access should be defined or established.
I know you're looking at me, but we did some research before in the prior application. We could not find an owner. It doesn't mean no one owns it. It means, going back to what we could see, we couldn't find a specific owner. That's a good question.
Somebody put macadam on there.
Somebody owns it.
Somebody owns it. Yeah,
Somebody owns it.
There is a person or an entity that owns it. Staff could not find that information on the records that we could find.
So if we could just continue that line, sorry to beat this dead horse here.
It's
But-
not a dead horse.
But since this is a private road, I'd asked the question earlier, could we make a condition of this approval that there be a upgrade and maintenance agreement put in place? Not thinking about the first owner, but thinking about potentially a subsequent owner.
As a PUD, you can put whatever conditions you feel are appropriate, so.
Okay, good. I didn't understand that. Thank you. And then number two is, Frankie, I don't recall seeing in your report, was there any traffic study or is there any traffic study required for the additional traffic on Norval Bryant, particularly if you're gonna have boats, boat trailers, and additional, 56 units worth of people? For turning lanes, for safety, for signage?
I'm not specifically aware, but I know technical services took a look at this project, and they gave their comments, which are reflected, I believe, in condition number 3. So I don't know if a traffic study was required, but they did indicate that there are some issues that they want looked at.
So if those issues are looked at, the cost, the entity that would bear the cost for any of those potential upgrades or signage and other issues fall back to the developer, the applicant?
I'm not aware.
The Land Development Code doesn't allow us to, it allows us to look at access management, like turn lanes, for example. So at the time of permitting, they will have to look at that, and if a turn lane is required, then they're gonna have to bore that expense. That's in the Land Development Code outside of your PUD. As far as the maintenance of the road or a traffic study on traffic caused by this, we don't have that ability because we don't have concurrency.
Sure.
But they will be looking at the turn lane, and as in that condition, they're concerned about the lack of median there. That'll have to have those bollards to make sure people don't drive across.
All right, that's the due diligence of the county working,
That'd
through
be
its
technical
agencies.
services review. Yeah, they're not gonna review Miller Run and whether Miller Run can handle it, no.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Bozeman.
And looking at the aerial and going back in my weak memory from the late 80s, that road continues across the power line right away. It appears, does it still go across there? Because if I recall, there was cattle involved running in there, and there was the construction of the overhead power lines and the maintenance, original access. So, the road was probably built back in the wild, wild west, honestly. So determining ownership may be impossible. It doesn't bother me, but the only question I have is the Fig Eater Road that crosses the power line right away. Is that blocked at the end, or is that road open? Is it gated, or?
Could you drive onto that?
So, no. At the very end of Miller Run are the dumpsters for the apartment complex. They put them smack dab at the end. From driving and walking the area, I didn't see anything that indicated a road going across the power line corridor. So if it's there, it's certainly not maintained.
Yeah, that relieves my concern, because I know that there used to be access.
Yeah, I believe it was 2 dumpsters right at the very end of the road.
Yeah, okay, I'm good.
All right, any other questions? All right, Frankie, you're off the hook for a moment. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, this time the public portion of the meeting will now be open. If there's anyone present who would like to speak on this application, please come forward to the podium. As a reminder, individuals will have 3 minutes and organizations will have 5 minutes. When speaking on this application, please address this board. If you have any documentations that you want to be entered into the record, please provide a copy to the recording secretary. And good morning.
Good morning. Hello, everyone. My name is Vandana Chandrupatla, and I am a Citrus County resident for the past 23 years. My kids were born and raised here. I actually own the 2 HDR properties facing Norval Bryant right in front of Whitestone Landings. And I've been working with Mr. Legree for the past few months, and I really appreciate what he's planning to do for the county and seeing the growth here. My husband is in the medical industry. We have a lot of residents who are having trouble finding housing here. They come for a few months rotations, and I think we really are in need of an idea like this with Tampa General coming in. I own the 2 corner properties right by the power lines, and I'm looking to do something that complements Whitestone Landing. I don't know, I don't have a concrete plan yet, but to address your issue of having access to Norval Bryant, I think working in sync with Whitestone and Mr. Legree, that would give a lot of openings to his project. I think that's all I have, if you have any questions.
All right, thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Good morning.
Good morning, Michael.
Mike Sawinski, environmental consultant, professional, address 2716 South Lecanto Highway. I've known Mr. Legree for approximately 40 years. He is rooted in the community. He is a highly respected landscape architect, and every project I've ever been involved with him has been a high-quality project. So I just want to set that straight. If you look in the area there, I also lived in Meadowcrest for a number of years, and you'll see across the way there, the project appears to be fairly compatible with the adjacent uses. You have apartment complex over there, and you have in Meadowcrest, some of which have not been built yet, going up the hill. On the other side of Norval Bryant, you've got apartment complexes. I don't think that's, and the compatibility doesn't appear to be an issue. The need, I think there is a need for this product, and having Terry as the developer, you're not looking at somebody that's coming out from some other area like Tampa looking to do a quick buck. It's going to be a quality development. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Anyone else?
Good morning, Commissioners and staff. Josh Wooten, CEO of the Citrus County Chamber of Commerce, and I'm here to speak. You've heard a lot of testimony about compatibility. It appears he's met that test. I'm here to speak about the need, and you've heard about the Tampa General coming here and doctors needing short-term rentals. In fact, we have several interns, a couple of dozen interns in town right now. We just had a reception for them, and we'd love for them to come and have a nice place to stay and maybe end up here. So one of the big questions I hear on the Tampa General expansion is where are the doctors going to come from, and where are they going to live when we get them here? I think this will help solve that, but it's also a higher end place for our visitors to come. I'm starting to think maybe quality is better than quantity, because you see so many people out on our rivers and on our roads. Maybe this is the type of project we should start thinking about to get that quality visitor here. But certainly from an economic development standpoint, for our executives coming in, from whether it's Duke Energy or Tampa General Hospital, I think this will help. Thank you. And Mr. Legree, you can't get any finer than him when it comes to working the land. He'll do you right.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker. Anyone? All right, Mr. Legree, if you'd like to rebuttal the public input portion.
Yes, thank you. Two things. One, the buffer on the south side with being a solid 15-foot high buffer versus 10 versus 15. All I'm going to be able to do is put some small shrubs in front of them. It'll satisfy the need over and above because they're going to be planted about 8 to 9 foot on center. And it'll be a very thick, well-maintained buffer hedge. So I'm still requesting that you, in your motion, if you would allow me to make that a 10-foot buffer, it'd be most appreciated. According to the road, I'm concerned about it as well. As a standpoint, I think that's why I want to improve it. We want to pick up the whole neighborhood. I've talked to the gentleman that owns the 2.7 acres over, it's PSO right in front of Metacross there, right adjacent to North Miller, and he's of the same mindset of trying to really, bring this whole area up just a tad, if you will. So I would appreciate your consideration for the buffer asking. Thank you.
All right, thank you. At this time, I'm going to close the public portion of the hearing down and bring the discussion back to the board. Who would like to start?
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Scherer.
Seeing no others. I support this project. It's a good project. There's definitely a need. We look at we look at the building out of Tampa General. We look at other developments within the county, the interstate coming through here in the next month or two. I do think that there needs to be something in the conditions that addresses the long-term maintenance and care of that road to the extent and for the period of time that it's used as the access road. There may be another solution to the access road through other property, but that's not yet defined and will be coming in the future. So I would, based upon looking at the application, I see absolutely no issues with it, strongly support it. Need to solve a couple of problems. That road, in fact, should not be a major problem to solve with the sophistication of this kind of development, but it should be stated. The tree preservation plan, great detail is provided. I know we have a new tree preservation ordinance, and I know that'll be applied appropriately. And the issues related to the road, the general safety of the community and the amount of traffic, those will be addressed as part of this process as well. So I will support this.
Thank you, Commissioner Scherer. Commissioner Facemeyer.
I too plan to support this application, Mr. Chairman. I do have a concern that we touched on briefly earlier about the potential, maybe not now, maybe not even in the short term, 5 years, but I have a concern that it turns into a permanent apartment building type of thing. And Joanna touched on maybe potentially adding a condition that would say something that would limit that somehow, and I don't know what that language would be. But that's the only little bit of a concern I have.
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Stone.
I also will support this application. I like the safeguards that the management company has for the occupants. I would prefer it to have an on-site resident manager, but in the absence of that, they seem to be fairly well covered. I don't see an issue with the road. The road's not defined as to what's maintained. Mr. Legree is going to improve it, and I think he's got a built-in incentive to keep it in good condition for the residents of his new facility. So I would be happy to support this proposal as it stands.
Thank you, Commissioner Stone. Commissioner Bozeman.
Given the growth of potential of our area, we've all seen it, we've all been exposed to it, I think a project like this is definitely going to meet a need. It's kind of a niche market, but it's definitely a need with the hospital, with some higher end type developments coming in, temporary housing, what have you. So I'm happy to see something like this. I think it's a neat concept. It's a unique concept. I've not seen it. in my travels around the state of Florida. So I think it's unique, but it has to stand on its own merits, and the county's addressed concerns with some potential conditions. I also like the concept of having control by the management company over a short-term stay type of place, potentially longer term. Out there in the county and various areas, it is the wild, wild west with ARBNBs and VRBOs coming into areas where they're technically not in the deed restrictions. Actually, they're spoken to, they're not allowed, but they're happening already. I like the control that you are showing over this. So with that said, I definitely am going to support it. I think it's going to be a high-quality project.
Thank you, Commissioner Bozeman. Commissioner Collins.
I have no objection to the request. It's a shame that you could only have the hotel, motel, and the GNC, and I wish it could have been more like the PSO. But with the PUD, it secures it for this particular land use. I think GNC open could possibly be an incompatibility, but the PUD secures it to this use. And even in the event that something happens where you do something else, you're going to have to come back before this board. So at that point, we would need to address the use. I have also no objection to the request for the reduced buffer on the south side with the plantings as proposed by the landscape site plan. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Collins. I don't have any real concerns about the project. Although I was hoping for a project that would, be more of a solution instead of a stepping stone into our workforce housing and our affordable housing problems that we have, especially coming in with Tampa General and the staff coming in. We're only providing them a stepping stone and not a place to permanently stay. So that would just a personal concern. And I too don't have a problem with the buffer. I think the buffer's fine. I would like to see in the conditions, if it's privy to this board, to add the 3-year and not the 5-year. I would also like to see a limited stay provision to whatever we can determine. We don't want to give them endless opportunity to stay there for multiple years and violate other communities similar to these hotels that they can't stay for years at a time. I don't have a problem with the private road. I think it's been maintained for multiple years, so I'm okay with that. And then I would also like to see a condition added to protect the ballards of their curbing, as Technical Services has indicated in the report. Other than that, if we can come up with some special conditions in there, I'm okay with it.
All right, let's start with the easy one. Joe has written a revised condition for number 7 with the buffer. Go ahead, Joe.
Right, so number 7 we might even be able to combine 6 and 7. So basically it would be, if I heard Commissioner Collins correctly, the buffers would be as delineated on the master plan with the date stamp of June 24th, 2025. Does that sound?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're 10-foot both,
Right.
10-foot
Right.
type A on both.
And then for condition number 1, we'll have to discuss a little bit, but do you shall allow for a hotel motel, blah, 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 to up to 48 units. Do you want that not to be utilized as a permanent residence, or a max occupancy of 6 months, or both, whatever you're thinking?
Well, somebody's going to.
I would think 6 months is what is pretty common in the Hotel Motel Association, at least with my rentals. I can't rent them longer than 6 months.
Yeah, it's not in the statutes, they're not our
Right.
friend helping us, but,
Right.
so possibly up to 48 units with a max occupancy of 6 months.
But we can control that with a PUD.
Right, hopefully. And then the only other thing I heard was condition number 11, whether you want the 5-year request or the 3-year. The applicant did say maybe 3 is okay, but.
Yeah, he did say that 3 was okay because they'll have it done by 2026.
I think that was it for the condition revisions from what I'm hearing.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Shara.
I would have to say that I'm going to disagree with my colleagues on this, the issue with the road. I don't think this road is a big deal with this kind of facility, but I think it needs to be addressed. And I'm not thinking Mr. Legree, I'm thinking of subsequent owners. I would just like to have some discussion as to why it would not be proper to put in a condition that the road will be maintained, defined what it is in terms of width, and maintained in usable condition for the traffic it's intended. And again, this is not directed at the current applicant, but it's already been stated that this property may change hands in the future, which is typical. This is just, to me, it's safety and common sense. Now, does he have an incentive to maintain the road? Certainly, because he needs to be able to get his guests back there with their equipment to maintain and operate the facility. But it seems that this is a missing piece. But I will, if my colleagues are not in agreement with that, I will stand aside on that one.
Well, I'll say that, Indy Window, if I lived on that street, and I've been on that street for multiple years, as most of the residents that live on that street, if we try to say that this gentleman has to do something to their road, and maybe I, as a resident, don't want that to happen, and I like the road exactly the way it is, why should we stipulate what happens on a road that we don't live on, a road that we don't own, or a road that we don't maintain? It's a private road, apparently with permission to access it through this extended stay. And who would manage it? Who would control it? We don't have a street police that's going to go out there and say, you did this wrong. Well, I did it my way. So it's just for the sake of argument in the future. That's the reason why I chose not to add the road as part of a condition.
Well, for all those reasons you just mentioned, there's no particular entity that would oversee this or would ensure that it's maintained in a proper way. And if you are living there now, and all of a sudden the next thing you know is you have 48 additional units and all the traffic, and this community itself clearly doesn't have great access to funds. So who looks out for those people?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Stone.
There's no obligation to any entity to repair, maintain, and operate that road, and I think it's unreasonable for us to impose that requirement on the applicant because he doesn't own the road, and he's offered to improve it, but then for him to have to incur a burden that is not really his, I think is unreasonable. So I would not support requiring the applicant to maintain that road. And if the other residents of the road adjacent to the road want to maintain it, well, they have the same option to undertake that as well. I think, is there a question, Madam Attorney, that there's something about right-of-way for a road through somebody's property, and if you don't close it off once every year, 7 years, or something like that, then it becomes a public right-of-way? Is there something in civil law with that?
There are different types of laws that relate to roads. I think what you're thinking of is a prescriptive road, but the county would have to maintain it for the requisite 7 years in order for it to become a county road. So right now, this is not a county road. It is owned by someone. I've not done a title search to determine who that is. I've done a quick little look, and there's definitely somebody that owns it. And it's not the county, and the county will not maintain it, and the county does not own it and has not maintained it, so it can't use prescriptive rights to take it, if you will. So it's definitely a question.
Commissioner Bozeman.
I would agree with Commissioner Stone's view on this road. They have offered, not required, if I understand it correctly, to come in and upgrade the road. I think that's a positive situation in this case. And again, to put the burden on future maintenance of a road who we don't even know who owns, possibly we could look into that and then determine ownership. But the fact that they've said we're going to come in and mill it up and resurface it. And again, it's for aesthetic as well as functional value that's going to benefit their development, I would think. And so that's my position on that condition.
We can't make people maintain their roads.
No.
It's just, it's private property, just like any other type of property. It just happens to be used as ingress and egress to the communities that are back there. So the county would have no jurisdiction over demanding that somebody maintain that road.
And it appears that that's ingress and egress for the existing apartments or whatever the other lower income units are. So it's already being used on, somebody's using a road that nobody knows who owns it. So I don't know that this has any bearing on this application. I'll still support it.
Madam Attorney, if we have not contacted the road owner, how do we know that the owner will grant rights as this property is not landlocked?
It is the applicant's burden to show this board that the project meets all of the provisions of the Land Development Code and the Comprehensive Plan. It wouldn't be up to the county to contact anybody to make sure there's access. It would be up to the applicant. And if the applicant learns after the fact that they don't have access, then that would be on the applicant.
Thank you. Any other discussions on the road?
No, sir.
Commissioner Scherer? All right, so with the conditions that's been changed,
Mr. Chair, for the purpose of a motion, and I make this motion based upon the quality of this application, and I will stand aside on my discussion on the roads, other than I believe it's something that I would ask the developer and applicant to make sure that those are properly taken care of, and I'm sure he would. For the purpose of a motion, the Planning and Development Commission finds application number, let me quickly turn the page, CPA AA PUD 2025-00006, consistent with the Citrus County Comprehensive Plan and Citrus County Land Development Code, and that this board recommends approval with conditions, and we'll clarify these conditions in one moment, of the application to the board and county commissioners based on the evidence and testimony presented, and the staff report and conclusions regarding this petition. And the conditions we've discussed are combining conditions 7 and 6, and reference the buffers as identified in the master plan, and adding language to condition number 1 to the max rental of 6 months.
And condition number 11 for the maximum time frame of 3 years instead of 5. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, and then the maximum extended stay.
Right, yeah, so that would be condition 1.
Condition 1, yes. So we have three modifications. Number 11, number 1, deleting 7 and 6 and making them part of the master plan.
Correct.
Okay.
I'll second.
So we got a first by Commissioner Scherer, a second by Commissioner Collins. Any further discussion from the board? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Mr. Chair, this application has been scheduled for the Board of County Commissioners on September 9th at 5:10 p.m.
Thank you. All right, is there any other business for the commission?
Your next meeting, you have one application. We had 3, but 2 of them were not really ready for you yet, so they have pulled off, and you'll see them later. So one application, next agenda. Your first meeting in September, we have a very trying to say there's a lot of attention to a proposed RV park. So even though there's one application on the agenda, that was deliberate. That one should have a room full, I expect. And then your second meeting in September also has one application, but not nearly as exciting. So
So how did you describe that
I was
first meeting
trying
in
to think
September?
of it. I don't think volatile is the word. I think a lot of interest.
Pack a lunch?
Full house. It's one application, but a full house might be here. Yes.
If you drive the street, you'll know. Mr. Linden, you have anything to add?
Passionate is the word I would use about that application.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, they're all passionate though.
Some just a little bit more passionate than others.
This is a neighbor passion, not the applicant passion.
All right, no other business? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, so for this, we're gonna